Imagine standing in front of a door you have knocked on for years. You knocked with effort, you knocked with tears, you knocked with hope, and still it remained closed. Many of us enter 2026 carrying silent worries, bills that don't add up, dreams that seem delayed, opportunities that slipped away, and prayers that feel unanswered. But today, let me remind you of something powerful. A closed door does not mean an empty future. Sometimes it only means the key hasn't been used yet. And today, we talk about a powerful short duo, one that doesn't need eloquence, only sincerity, a duo that unlocks doors of rizq, wealth, and ease by the permission of Allah. When people hear the word rizq, the first thing that comes to mind is money. We think of salaries, businesses, profit, and financial stability. While money is certainly a part of rizq, it is not the full picture. Rizq is far broader, deeper, and more meaningful than wealth that can be counted. It is everything Allah provides to sustain our lives, hearts, and souls. Rizq includes the breath you took without effort, the heartbeat you never had to remember to maintain, and the sleep that allowed your body to recover when it was exhausted. Good health is rizq, because without it, wealth becomes meaningless. Many people possess money but spend it chasing health they once had for free. Strength, energy, and the ability to move without pain are provisions that often go unnoticed until they are taken away. Rizq is also peace of mind. The calm you feel when you place your trust in Allah is a form of wealth that no currency can buy. There are people with overflowing bank accounts who lie awake at night restless, anxious, and afraid of loss. At the same time, there are those with very little who sleep with contentment because their hearts are anchored in trust. That inner tranquility is rizq, and it is among the most precious forms of provision. Rizq appears in relationships as well. A loving spouse who supports you, children who bring joy to your heart, parents who make dua for you, and friends who stand by you in difficulty are all part of Allah's provision. Not everyone is granted sincere companionship. Having someone who listens, advises, and reminds you of what is right is a blessing that cannot be purchased, yet it carries immense value in life. Opportunities are also rizq. A door opening at the right time, a chance meeting, a skill you possess, or a talent that allows you to earn with dignity are all forms of provision. Even being guided toward halal choices is rizq, because it protects you from harm you may not see. Sometimes Allah withholds money but grants wisdom, patience, and resilience, which later become the foundation for lasting success. Time itself is rizq. The ability to wake up to a new day, to correct mistakes, to seek forgiveness, and to grow is a gift. Some are given long lives but waste them, while others are granted meaningful moments that leave lasting impact. Having time to pray, reflect, learn, and improve is a form of wealth that disappears quietly when not valued. Contentment is among the greatest forms of rizq. When Allah places satisfaction in the heart, a person feels rich regardless of how much they own. Without contentment, even abundance feels like deprivation. Contentment protects the heart from envy, resentment, and endless comparison, allowing a person to live with dignity and gratitude. Understanding rizq in this broader sense changes how we view life. It teaches us that lack of money does not mean lack of provision, and abundance of money does not guarantee richness. True rizq is what brings you closer to Allah, steadies your heart, and allows you to live with purpose and peace. When a door closes in life, the first emotion that often rises in the heart is rejection. We assume we were not good enough, not worthy enough, or not meant for anything better. But a closed door is not always a sign of refusal. Very often, it is a sign of protection, redirection, or preparation for something far greater than what we can see in that moment. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sees the full picture while we only see a fragment. What appears perfect to us may carry harm hidden beneath its surface. A job you desperately wanted, a relationship you prayed would work, or an opportunity that slipped away may have contained difficulty that would have drained your faith, damaged your character, or distracted you from your purpose. When Allah closes a door, it is sometimes His way of saying, "This is not good for you," even though your heart believes otherwise. There are moments when doors close not because you are unworthy, but because you are not ready yet. Readiness is not only about skill or effort, it is about strength, patience, and spiritual maturity. Allah may delay something so that when it arrives, you receive it with gratitude instead of arrogance, with wisdom instead of recklessness. A door opened too early can become a burden instead of a blessing. Closed doors also serve as redirection. Many people discover their true path only after the path they wanted disappeared. The setback forces reflection, and reflection brings clarity. You begin to see possibilities you never considered, talents you never explored, and routes you never imagined. What felt like loss becomes guidance. Allah sometimes closes one door so that you walk toward a door you would have otherwise ignored. At times, a closed door is a test of trust. It reveals where your reliance truly lies. When things do not work out, do you turn away in frustration, or do you turn toward Allah in humility? The closing of a door strips away false security and reminds the heart that control belongs only to Allah. This realization strengthens faith and deepens sincerity in supplication. Some doors close to teach patience. In a world that demands instant results, waiting becomes uncomfortable, yet patience refines the soul. It teaches endurance, emotional balance, and reliance on divine timing. The lessons learned while waiting often become more valuable than the thing we were waiting for. Without delay, we would never grow into the people capable of handling greater responsibilities. A closed door can also be mercy disguised as disappointment. Had that door opened, it might have led to regret, exhaustion, or spiritual distance. Allah's mercy does not always appear in the form we expect. Sometimes it arrives quietly through prevention rather than permission. Understanding this transforms how we face setbacks. Instead of asking, "Why was I rejected?" the heart begins to ask, "What is Allah protecting me from, and where is He guiding me next?" In that shift lies peace. When you trust that Allah's plan is always rooted in wisdom and compassion, closed doors stop feeling like endings and start feeling like divine pauses before something better unfolds. Many people believe that powerful du'as must be long, eloquent, and filled with complex words. They assume that the strength of a supplication lies in its length or in how beautifully it is spoken. In reality, the power of a dua does not come from how many words are used, but from the sincerity of the heart that raises it. A short dua, when made with complete humility and trust, can carry weight far beyond what the tongue utters. Allah is not impressed by verbosity, nor is He distant and in need of formal speeches. He is closer to us than we realize and fully aware of what rests in the heart even before it is spoken. A few honest words whispered in desperation or hope can reach the heavens faster than long, memorized supplications recited without presence of heart. When a person calls upon Allah with sincerity, even a single sentence can shift circumstances and open paths that seemed impossible. Short du'as often emerge from moments of genuine emotion. In fear, a person says, "O Allah, protect me." In need, the heart cries, "O Allah, help me." In weakness, the tongue utters, "O Allah, strengthen me." These are not carefully constructed prayers, yet they are deeply powerful because they are real. They reflect complete dependence on Allah, and it is this dependence that Allah loves. A short dua also teaches consistency. When supplication feels simple and accessible, a person turns to Allah more frequently. Instead of waiting for special moments or extended time, the believer calls upon Allah throughout the day, while walking, working, resting, or facing difficulty. This constant connection strengthens faith and keeps the heart aware that Allah is always near and listening. There is also immense wisdom in brevity. Short duas are easy to remember and repeat, especially during moments of stress when the mind feels overwhelmed. When words fail, simplicity becomes mercy. A short dua allows the heart to focus on meaning rather than memorization. Repeating a few sincere words with full attention often leaves a deeper impact on the soul than reciting many words mechanically. A short dua carries power because it reflects trust. When someone asks Allah briefly, without over-explaining or justifying, it shows confidence in Allah's knowledge. It is as if the servant is saying, "You already know my situation, and I trust you with it." This level of reliance transforms a simple request into an act of worship rooted in tawakkul. Sometimes a short dua becomes powerful through repetition over time. When the same words are raised day after day, especially during moments of hardship, they shape the heart. The dua becomes a reminder of patience, hope, and reliance. Even before the answer arrives, the person making the dua begins to change, growing calmer, stronger, and more trusting. The greatest transformations often begin with the simplest words spoken sincerely. A short dua may not sound impressive to others, but its effect is measured by what Allah places in response. Sees after hardship, clarity after confusion, strength after weakness. This is why a short dua, when carried by faith and sincerity, can hold immense power and create lasting change in a person's life. Taqwa is often misunderstood as something abstract or distant, when in reality it is a practical way of living with constant awareness of Allah. It means making conscious choices that please Him, even when no one is watching, and restraining oneself from what displeases Him, even when it seems easy or tempting. This awareness creates a powerful connection between the servant and the Creator, and from that connection flows provision in ways that defy human expectations. When a person lives with taqwa, their relationship with Allah becomes the foundation of every decision. They are careful about what they earn, how they speak, how they treat others, and how they respond to hardship. This consciousness may appear to limit opportunities in the short term, especially when refusing what is doubtful or unlawful. However, what seems like a loss often becomes the doorway to unexpected gain. Allah replaces what is left for His sake with something better, more peaceful, and more lasting. Unexpected provision does not always arrive in the form of sudden wealth. Sometimes it comes as relief during difficulty, solutions appearing at the right moment, or help arriving from people you never thought would support you. A person of taqwa finds doors opening in ways that cannot be traced back to planning or strategy. This is because the source of that provision is not effort alone, but divine care. Allah creates paths where none seem to exist. Taqwa also refines the heart, making a person more receptive to blessing. When the heart is clean from greed, envy, and dishonesty, whatever enters it brings peace instead of anxiety. Two people may receive the same amount of wealth, yet one feels burdened while the other feels content. The difference lies in taqwa. It invites barakah, turning little into enough and enough into abundance. Living with taqwa builds trust in Allah's timing. A person may face delays, setbacks, or closed doors, yet their heart remains steady because they believe that Allah is managing their affairs with wisdom. This trust itself becomes a source of provision, protecting the heart from despair and reckless decisions. Many people lose more by panicking during hardship than they ever lost through lack of wealth. Taqwa keeps a person grounded when outcomes are uncertain. Another way taqwa unlocks provision is through character. Honesty, fairness, patience, and humility attract trust and respect from others. These qualities open opportunities that skill alone cannot secure. People are drawn to those who act with integrity, and through these relationships come unexpected doors of growth and support. What begins as a moral choice often turns into a means of provision. Taqwa also ensures that provision, when it comes, does not lead to destruction. Wealth without consciousness of Allah can become a test that distances a person from faith and gratitude. But when provision arrives in the hands of someone who fears Allah, it becomes a tool for good, benefiting both the giver and those around them. In this way, taqwa not only unlocks provision, but protects its purpose. When a person commits to living with taqwa, they may not always know how or when things will work out. Yet again and again, they witness ease replacing difficulty and help coming from directions they never anticipated. This is the quiet miracle of taqwa, an unseen key that opens doors no human effort could ever force open. Gratitude multiplies wealth. Expand it in 5. 100 words but don't add subtitle and conclusion. Gratitude is often spoken of as a moral virtue, but its impact goes far beyond good manners or polite words. Gratitude is a powerful spiritual state that transforms how wealth is experienced, preserved, and increased. When a person learns to be truly grateful, what they possess begins to feel abundant, even if it is small. Without gratitude, even vast riches can feel insufficient and burdensome. Gratitude starts in the heart before it reaches the tongue. It is the recognition that what one has is not purely the result of effort, intelligence, or planning, but a gift from Allah. This recognition changes how wealth is viewed. Money stops being a source of pride and becomes a responsibility. When a person acknowledges Allah as the true giver, wealth is handled with humility rather than entitlement. One of the greatest ways gratitude multiplies wealth is through barakah. Barakah is not about numerical increase. It is about benefit, stability, and goodness within what already exists. A grateful person may earn modestly, yet their needs are met, their expenses feel manageable, and their life remains balanced. Another may earn far more but constantly struggle, feeling as though money slips away without benefit. Gratitude invites barakah, and barakah makes small amounts go far. Gratitude also protects wealth from waste. When someone appreciates what they have, they are less likely to spend recklessly or chase unnecessary excess. Contentment grows, and with it comes wiser decisions. This careful approach naturally preserves and grows resources over time. Gratitude creates awareness, and awareness leads to responsibility. Another way gratitude multiplies wealth is by shaping character. A grateful person is more generous, more patient, and more willing to share. Giving, when done with sincerity, does not diminish wealth, it refines it. Charity offered from a grateful heart strengthens trust in Allah and removes fear of loss. This mindset opens the door to increase, both material and spiritual. Gratitude also attracts opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who are appreciative and positive rather than constantly dissatisfied. Employers, partners, and colleagues value individuals who acknowledge effort and remain thankful even during difficulty. These relationships often lead to unexpected support, advancement, and provision. What begins as an attitude of gratitude quietly turns into doors opening. Being grateful during hardship is especially powerful. Thanking Allah when things are difficult does not deny pain, it acknowledges trust. It says, "Even now I believe there is wisdom." This level of gratitude strengthens faith and steadies the heart. It prevents bitterness from taking root and keeps the person moving forward with dignity. Such resilience often leads to breakthroughs that would never come to a resentful heart. Gratitude also changes how loss is experienced. When something is taken away, a grateful heart focuses on what remains rather than what is gone. This perspective prevents despair and allows recovery. Many people rebuild faster after setbacks because gratitude keeps their vision clear and their spirit hopeful. Wealth is not multiplied only by earning more, but by appreciating more. Gratitude transforms income into security, possessions into comfort, and provision into peace. When the heart is thankful, wealth no longer controls the person, it serves them. In this way, gratitude becomes one of the greatest keys to lasting abundance. As 2026 approaches, many hearts are filled with unease rather than hope. People carry worries about finances, careers, relationships, and an uncertain future. Anxiety has become so common that it feels normal, yet living in constant fear was never meant to be the way forward. This year is not meant to be driven by panic or pressure, but by alignment, aligning the heart, the intentions, and the direction of life with what truly matters. Alignment begins when a person pauses and reflects instead of rushing blindly. Anxiety thrives in chaos, but alignment brings clarity. When priorities are unclear, everything feels urgent and overwhelming. Aligning life means deciding what deserves the most energy and what no longer does. It means placing faith before fear, purpose before pressure, and values before validation. When the heart is aligned, decisions become lighter even when circumstances remain challenging. Living in alignment requires trust in Allah's plan rather than obsession with outcomes. Anxiety often comes from the illusion of control, the belief that if we worry enough, plan enough, or stress enough, we can prevent hardship. Alignment teaches a different lesson. Effort is required, but control belongs to Allah. When effort and trust move together, the heart finds rest. This does not remove challenges, but it changes how they are faced. Alignment also means bringing actions in harmony with beliefs. Many people experience anxiety because their lives are divided. What they believe does not match how they live. When values are compromised, the heart feels unsettled. Realignment restores peace by closing this gap. Choosing honesty over shortcuts, patience over haste, and integrity over convenience may seem difficult, but it removes the internal conflict that fuels anxiety. This year calls for alignment with purpose rather than comparison. Constantly measuring life against others creates dissatisfaction and pressure. Alignment reminds a person that everyone's journey is different and timing is unique. When focus shifts from competing to becoming, growth feels natural. Progress is measured by consistency and sincerity, not by speed or applause. Alignment also reshapes how time is used. Anxiety often comes from feeling behind or running out of time. Alignment encourages intentional living, using time wisely, resting without guilt, and working without burnout. When time is treated as a trust rather than a race, life becomes more balanced. Moments gain meaning, and the heart feels less scattered. Another part of alignment is emotional honesty. Pretending to be strong while ignoring inner struggles only deepens anxiety. Alignment allows space for vulnerability, reflection, and healing. Seeking help, making dua, and admitting weakness are not signs of failure, they are steps toward stability. A heart that is aligned does not deny pain, but it does not allow pain to define its direction. When life is aligned with faith, purpose, and values, anxiety loses its grip. Worries may still arise, but they no longer control decisions or steal peace. Alignment creates a steady center, allowing a person to move forward with calm determination rather than fear-driven urgency. This year is an invitation to slow the heart, strengthen trust, and live with intention. When alignment replaces anxiety, clarity replaces confusion, and hope quietly returns as we come to the end of this reminder. Let us carry one truth firmly in our hearts. Nothing in our lives is random, delayed, or wasted when Allah is in control. Rizq is far more than money. Closed doors are not signs of rejection, and even the shortest dua, when spoken with sincerity, can move mountains. Taqwa opens doors we never knew existed. Gratitude transforms what we have into abundance, and alignment with Allah replaces anxiety with peace. If 2026 brings challenges, let them bring you closer to Allah, not further away. If doors close, trust that protection is at work. If provision feels slow, remember that Allah's timing is always perfect. Keep your heart conscious of Him, your tongue moist with gratitude, and your hands raised in sincere dua, even if it is only a few words. Walk forward with faith instead of fear, trust instead of tension, and hope instead of worry. Align your life with Allah, and you will find that what is written for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant to reach you. When Allah is your reliance, every step becomes purposeful, every delay becomes meaningful, and every outcome, whether you understand it or not, becomes a mercy.